The awards are in. Welcome to the 2023 Dokkan Community Awards. How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here, and we are proud to be bringing you the 2023 Dokkan Battle Awards. This is something organized by a great member of the community and good friend of the channel, Mr. Greg Daw. In a previous video, which I'll link down in the description below, we went over our nominations for the various categories in the Dokkan Battle Awards. This is a huge community effort. Everybody voted in the poll. I think we had something over 4,500 votes. It's kind of crazy. So in this video, we're going to take a look at what the final tally for all of the awards are and give my honest thoughts and, you know, maybe change my mind on a few of them. So let's go ahead. Let's jump on in. But before we do, before we take a look at these awards, make sure you head on over to Greg Daw's channel here. Give him a like, give him a subscribe, because he worked really hard to put this together. I think he did a wonderful job. Adding on to that, right, he's also over on Twitter if you want to go and follow him over there. He does put out a lot of good things, specifically unit guides and, you know, grinding information whenever celebrations drop for how to get your units ready and prepped. All kinds of good stuff here. I think you can see he hasn't done one since 21 dropped, or not 21, the where is it? I don't see it here, but he does usually put out these guides for the Dokkan Fest when they drop. That goes over their links, their best partners, and right, how to grind out their super attacks and medals and all that good stuff. Really good, useful stuff. So, you know, if you're into that, go ahead, give him a subscribe and a follow over on Twitter. So let's go ahead. Let's jump on in to the Tech Goth Goku Award. Now, we're not going to play these videos in full. What we're going to do is we're just going to drop into the time, because otherwise we'll be here for like a 2-hour video, right? So what we'll do is we'll just kind of drop into the various categories here. So the first category up is the most valuable easy A. So up first, looks like SCR Gogeta took it with 1,700 votes for the most valuable easy A. Interesting choice for the third place. Honestly, I wouldn't have even expected him to make it up here. I know a lot of people kind of weight Vegito way over him to the point where I hadn't even expected him to make it on the leaderboard. So interesting that many of you guys chose to put him up there. Very, very interesting. Okay, moving on. Number 2 award. Now this one makes sense. I imagine this guy in first or second place. You remember our choices, he was up there, right? I kind of agree with this placement. I suppose it depends on who number 1 is, right? AGL Zamos is a most valuable asset to Tech Zamos' team, and pretty much needed, I would say, for that. So I wanted to make sure that he made it on for my vote. So interesting that he didn't make it all the way up to number 1, though. Very, very interesting. So that makes me curious. Who is number 1? Oh, wow. I had not anticipated that. Tech Vegito. I mean, he is good. He's all powerful, right? You get that turn 4 transformation. You get that you know, that 24 key, them 5-6 supers. You know what? I could kind of see this placement. I get it. I don't know that I would personally put him at number 1, but I get it. You know, barring events where there's AoE attacks, right? Like, he demolishes most events that he's in. So you know what, I get this award. That one kind of makes sense here. So very interesting choices for the most valuable easy A. I'm kind of curious if we can take a look at the breakdown here. He goes over the top winners. Who is in 4th place? Fizz Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. You know what, we did put him on our list. I get it. Okay. Gohan following not that far behind him too. Interesting. Okay. All right. So AGL Gohan, that is the LR. All right. You know what? I kind of like the easy A choices. They're not. I understand them. I don't know that I would have put STR Gogeta up there, but I get it. All right, neat. Let's go on to the next category, the LR award. Who is the most valuable LR? Interesting. The GT Duo made it into third place. We did put them on our list, so I get it. But third place, I anticipated them being much, much higher. That's very interesting that they made it into the third place. Let's take a look at the second place here. Bulma. Okay, Bulma is the second place award. Very, very nice. I mean, I guess it makes sense. We didn't really put Bulma on our list because, you know, as we said, she's great. She is a must run if you have her. But as we said in our video, I kind of think, you know, you can run without her, right? I don't think she's as instrumental to a team as some of the other units that we put, right? Like, you can run a team without Bulma. She just makes whatever team she's on better, right? So I mean, I get why people consider her the most valuable, but you know, to me, valuable is more in like, you know, can the team be run without them? You know what I mean? All right. So interesting choices. I mean, I don't totally disagree with them. I just would personally place the GT Duo over her as, you know, but let's move on. Let's see who is number one. No surprises there. Number one is Orange Piccolo. Very, very interesting. Not surprised in the slightest. He was our number one pick after all. I imagine he was probably, I mean, 3,000 people voted him number one. So you know what? I get it. There's a reason that action cancel is huge, or not action cancel, that super cancel through his giant form. Damage reduction, building attack and defense on getting hit, giving key to out. You know what? He does well, and can't complain there. So makes sense for the most valuable LRs. I would honestly have put Gohan here, probably like as we said in our video, but I don't totally disagree with the list here. So very nice. So moving on, the most valuable leader skill. This is an interesting one because there's a lot that could have been said here. So let's take a look here. So let's see who is our third place choice. The GT Duo, interesting. Okay, the GT Duo makes the most powerful. They are Battle of Fate and Power of Wishes. I mean, Power of Wishes is a decent category. Battle of Fate brings in some pretty heavy hitters. Yeah, I would definitely say that their leader skill is better than the Z Duo, so I get it. I don't know if they're the most valuable leader skill though, but it's definitely very helpful. I think for a lot of people, Power of Wishes is what pushed them into that, because Power of Wishes gives both Piccolo and Bulma. So I mean, I guess I could see that, right? If I feel like that's the way a lot of people see it. Can the leader skill present you with Bulma? If it can, it's the valuable leader skill. I feel like that's probably what this was. Interesting. Moving on, leader skill number 2. Interesting. Second place came to God Goku. If you guys remember, we put God Goku as our number 1 leader skill. So, very interesting, right? Pure and Hybrid Saiyans, very, very valuable, right? Like, you can't go wrong with that team. And a team that allows you to run basically every Pure Saiyan and every Hybrid Saiyan. That's a pretty good leader skill, right? That's the entire super class roster, more or less, right? Barring a few exceptions. So very, very nice. But interesting. I mean, no access to Bulma or Piccolo on this leader skill. So interesting that he made it so high, given that. But you know what? It's still not bad. Remember, we put him as our number 1 and number 2. Okay, they were on our list as well. The AGL Blue Duo. I kind of agree. Again, not sure if I agree with them at number 1, but it's definitely an extremely powerful leader skill. That extra 150% is huge, right? Them leading Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Battle of Fate, and Future Saga. Those are our Battle of Fate, already a very powerful category. Future Saga, limited, but very powerful given what came in worldwide. Then add on to that you can add any unit onto their leader skill under a 150 for Superclass. Yeah, I would have to agree. You know, thinking more on it, it's probably the more valuable leader skill, because Bulma on their team, even on a 150, is huge, right? Piccolo on their Battle of Fate leader skill, huge. So you know what? I it's all right. I kind of agree with this list, more or less. I'm kind of curious who the other ones were on this. Let's take a look here at the breakdown. So, who was fourth place? Fusions and Moss. Okay, yeah, you know, we kind of ranked them together almost, right? We did put the blue duos above theirs in our list, but I get it. Tech, Goku, we also mentioned this as a valuable leader skill. So, you know what? You know, I don't entirely disagree with this leader skill. So, you know what? Yeah, that's good. I think the breakdown is pretty good here. Moving on, the Tech Gohan Award. This one was probably pretty controversial for a lot, so I'm curious to see what the breakdown ended up being. So let's start with third place. Tech World Tournament Goku. Interesting. I don't know that I disagree with this. I mean, he probably one of the most powerful TURs to come out of this. So you know what? Yeah, I would say he definitely deserves this spot on here for sure. I mean, there aren't too many TURs that beat him out, right? So I would agree with that. All right, let's see who's number 2. World Tournament Piccolo. Okay, definitely number 2 for the most valuable TUR. He is pretty much a staple on every team he can be run on. If you aren't running Ma Junior, you're probably doing something wrong, I would say. So yeah, I definitely agree with this. This is a good pick. Good job, you guys. But who's number 1? I'm kind of curious. Let's see. Oh, okay. God Goku for the number 1 slot here. Very, very interesting. I'm not surprised here with the choices. I feel like I would have put God Goku and World Tournament Goku together, which is kind of what we did, right? I mean, we almost said that they were neck and neck in our video. Still don't know that I put him above. You know, thinking more on it, I still feel like Piccolo Jr. is a little more valuable just because villains are so in the dust right now. But I can't say that I don't entirely disagree with people's pick for God Goku. He's a very valuable character. Dodge, guard, orb changing, you know, he does it all, so I get it. And you know, 3,000 other, I mean, looking at the breakdown here, like it's only 100 votes difference here between the two, so I don't really think, I mean, it seems like it could really have been either way on this one, to be completely honest. So very, very nice. Again, as with all of these, I don't think I entirely disagree with the placement of all of these. After all, you know, democracy and all that, this is what we voted for. So I guess it is what it is, right? Moving on, let's take a look at the most aesthetic award, right? The Blue Fusions Award. So who's in number 3 here? Number 3, we have Future Gohan. You know, did he make I don't think he made our list, and yeah, I can't say I disagree with it. I do like his animations. I just don't know that it made our list, but I mean, they are pretty good. Number 2, the Z Duo. Yep, we definitely agree with that, right? We actually put them way up there on ours, so I definitely agree with that. And it's not too big of a difference between the two. 100 point difference, all right? But let's see the number 1. Oh, wow, a 400 point difference. So whoever this was won by a landslide. Makes sense. He was our number 1, and there's a reason for that. It is that good, right? There's almost nothing wrong with his animations. There's no choppiness. There's nothing. The voice lines are delivered well. You know what? This one, I can't argue with a single bit of it. While we didn't put Gohan on our list, I mean, he was still definitely up there for us. I'm kind of curious, who are the other ones on this list, though? Let's see here. Who's number 4? Oh, interesting. AGL, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku, and Vegeta. Interesting. I'm assuming that includes the Vegito portion. I'm surprised that didn't make it up there, honestly. Like, if it wasn't for them, right, it would have been. Because the only reason we didn't put them up there was because of the base form. The base form animations are a little rough, but the Vegito itself animation is pretty high. So that's kind of crazy that they didn't make it up there. Interesting. Okay. That's... I still don't disagree with a single bit of this list. I think this is probably the best of the list, to be completely honest. There's no argument there. So... All right, everybody's most controversial award, the biggest POS, right? The biggest fraud of the year. Let's see, who is it? Who are the awardees for this one? How did I know it? How did I know you people were gonna vote for Trunks? Ah, come on, guys. He's not that bad. It's literally just that 50% chance to guard. Everything else is great about this unit. But I guess it determines. I feel like the naming of this was a bit off, right? People put it at, you know, the biggest POS means, you know, people just like, what's the crappy unit, right? Versus, right, when you actually read the description that Greg had given out, right, it's, you know, the biggest letdown, right? The biggest, that was the way I interpreted it personally. So, right, for me, Trunks wasn't a letdown. So, of course, I'm not going to vote for him. But kind of crazy that, you know, a lot of people, I mean, I knew it was coming. I should have anticipated it, but is what it is. I mean, I will continue to enjoy Super Trunks as he is. But again, I knew this award was going to make me upset. Second place Gohan, really. You know what it is? I think people are still salty about the reveal of Beast Gohan not being transformable and just being an active skill. That's the only reason I can come to, because there's no way a person in December of 2023 is looking at this unit and being like, wow, he's bad. Right? I mean, I don't know. So, he's not that bad. To call him the biggest POS, I don't know if I can agree with that. I feel like I'm going to have a lot of disagreement with this list, unfortunately. But again, I think it's mainly because my interpretation of this was biggest letdown, and neither one of these units were letdowns in any sense of the word for me. So, interesting. Well, if these two are numbers 2 and 3, I'm scared to see who number 1 is. Alright, where is he? Okay, you know what? I can give this one. Triku, well, I mean, I tried to defend him. He's not that bad. He does what he does. I would agree with him being the biggest letdown of the year. After coming off of World Tournament base Goku, right? Kai base Goku, him being nothing more than a raw attack and only doing it twice a turn at max, and that's if he's rainbowed, right? Yeah, I would have to agree with this placement. There is someone, as we said, was on ours as the bigger letdown placement. But I don't know that I disagree with people putting Triku. I don't personally hate the unit, but I can see why he would be a letdown, right? Given all the other LRs that were released this year, even after him, he's definitely the lowest of the bunch. So I could definitely see why he would be the biggest letdown. I don't agree with second or third slot, but hey, you know, I mean, that's what you guys voted for, right? You know, democracy and all that. But I am curious, where did Omega rank in this? Omega was just outside it. This is the one I can't understand, right? How does Omega, who literally doesn't have a team, not make it into the biggest letdown? But Gohan does. Like, I just don't get this one. Maybe that's me. Maybe I need to reflect on that. But interesting choices. Again, I don't fully agree, but hey, it's what we, the community, voted for. It's what we said was the biggest letdown of the year. But I'm curious to see how this changes in the coming years. Who ends up being the biggest letdown for next year? That'll be scary if this is what we consider the letdowns this year. All right, so the piece de resistance, the most valuable overall. Who was the biggest value this year? Let's take a look at number 3 here. I don't disagree with that. Most valuable overall, GT Duo. That's a pretty good placement, right? That that standby into the revive, 80% support. Can't go wrong with that. Totally agree there. Number 2, Bulma. Makes sense. Knew she would be up here, right? Again, I don't know that I put her most value overall, given that you can run without her, but I get it. and I don't necessarily disagree with her placement. And it's basically the same as the LR list. I mean, no joke here, isn't it? Let's go back to the LR list. It's basically the LR list, and I had a feeling that would happen. So, because I think we ended up having a no, we didn't. We had Gohan on ours, most valuable unit overall. It's a shame no TURs made it on. Oh no, that's not true. God Goku made it onto ours. Yeah. It's a shame that no TURs made it onto this list overall, but I mean, I can't argue with any one of these units. I might move the GT Duo up over Bulma, if only because, right, like I said, you can run without Bulma. You kind of need the GT Duo, you know what I'm saying? Same with Piccolo, but I don't disagree. I think this is, you know, you guys made some pretty good choices here. Who are the runner-ups on this one, though? Let's see. Future Gohan, right? God Goku, right? Both of whom made our list. So you know what? You know, it's pretty good votes, guys. I think we did. I loved the idea of this. I think Greg Daw with these awards really put out something nice here. Let's go back up to, where is it? Right here. He really put out something nice with this. I mean, he worked really hard on this. You know, I was in conversations with him on Discord, and it was a lot of hard work, and it definitely seems like it paid off. You know, 4,500 of you guys put yourselves out there, you voted, and these were the results. And honestly, I kind of liked going over this. This was really interesting to see the reasonings behind all of these. I know some of you guys reached out to me in the last video and kind of explained why you chose what you chose, and I love that, and I love the discussion that this has created around the awards. Even now, you know, people are on Twitter discussing the meaning of some awards, why they felt certain characters should have gotten the award over others. You know what? I think this was a great thing for the community. It garners positive discussion, hopefully, and it's something I hope to continue in the future. I can't wait for next year's awards. Who will be the most valuable unit overall, right? That'll be interesting. And who's going to be the biggest letdown next year? That's going to be interesting, but definitely happy with the results, even if I'm not so happy with the results of the biggest letdown, right? But it was good. I thank you guys all for going out there and helping Greg out by participating in this. And like I said, if you haven't already, go drop him a subscribe, drop him a like, and give him a follow over on Twitter, and puts out a lot of good stuff, and there's only more to come. So guys, that is it for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know what were your picks for, let's go with the most valuable. Who was your MVP of the year, and who was your biggest letdown of the year? Let me know in the comments down below. And are there any changes you would have made to any of the awards here? Let me know in the comments down below. Would love to have some positive discussion continue on this. So guys, that's it for the video. If nothing else, thanks for watching, and aloha.